Man, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Miyagi Vice, man. I had to go live. Listen, I'm seeing, all this jibber jabber about the recent fight, man. Tyron Woodley versus the famed YouTuber, Jake Paul. Man, listen, you know, I'm seeing that folks are 50-50 on this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, those of us who know what it is, we know what it is. Your boy Tyron, he been gone. If you go back to his last 5-6 UFC fights, I think he lost all of them, right? So it don't take a genius to see that this brother is simply collecting a check. Okay. Now, I saw your boy Stephen A's, his reaction to it, and I gotta say I kind of agree with the brother. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's been paying attention, right? The Paul brothers really do train, right? So they not just no regular YouTube. I think Stephen A said 4 years, man. They've been at it. So these kids, they know how to put together some punches. You know what I'm saying? Now, this whole situation make me think about some of these local, boxers I got around town, man, who, they done had a couple boxing bouts with some MMA guys, and they just like, man, dude, I don't know why they throwing a man in with me. I'm just knocking them out in the first round. And I say the same thing. I don't know why they throwing them in. Listen, man, y'all box MMA. I done did the MMA thing too. Like it's apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? Boxing striking is different from MMA striking, right? Those of us who do that know what it is. See, that's why, brother like myself, I would outsource. You know what I'm saying? Hit up some of the local gyms, Circle of Discipline, Uppercut Gym, I'm over St. Paul, Element Gym. See, I would outsource, brother. So I made sure when it came to that sweet science, right? I knew what that was about. Now, a lot of MMA guys don't do that. You did. I think I was one of the first brothers who was actually, kind of led the way in that regard. Some of these young MMA cats kind of start following me. Because they seen how my hands was coming along, you dig, and they start kind of following the blueprint. And that's the tip if y'all ain't doing it. For y'all young MMA guys coming up, of course we know the 4 disciplines make up MMA, right? It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's boxing, it's wrestling, and then you got the Muay Thai kickboxing. Like those are the 4 pieces, right? Now, historically, you know what I'm saying, it was boxer versus wrestler. It was karate guy versus, a jiu-jitsu guy. It was, this is before it turned into MMA. You feel me? So you got to be well versed these days in all 4 disciplines in the sport of MMA. But see, in boxing, man, there's a different type of striking in boxing, right? Like I learned this at an old head showing me the technique in which you gotta throw that punch, man, is different. Like they sitting on everything. Boom, boom, boom. Like, man, it's different. And MMA guys, we do a lot of light shadowing, and they don't want to spar really, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to hurt each other and all that. And it shows in the fights, but boxers is not playing. It's a different game altogether, right? That being said, Tyron has a wrestling background. 5-time UFC champion, but he has a wrestling background, just like Ben Askren did, right? Because I know people say, oh, this is the second dude he knocked out. Ben Askren was a high level wrestler, right? Matter of fact, one of my guys, man, Marcus Lavessa, shout out to the prospect. Marcus got wins. We in Minnesota, we in Minneapolis, man. So Marcus got wins over both those dudes in the amateur wrestling. Marcus, hold on, Ben Askren and Tyron. He beat both them dudes, man, some years ago. So MMA world is small, man. I've been on cards with Amanda Nunes, in Brazil, competed against Thales Letties, a few months after he fought Anderson Silva for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like the circle is small, man. It is, bro. But see, this is the thing that which brings me to another point, right? We never got the type of money that boxing has gotten due to the history of boxing. It's been around long. MMA is still catching up. So this brings me back to Tyron, right? They already been kind of putting it out there in the first fight. Hey, we just trying to shed the light on the lack of conversation that's coming from the UFC. Like Jake has already called out Dana White and the whole organization, right? So he's trying to prove the point. I think I read they both got $2 million the last fight. Tyron was even offered another $500,000 if he could get the KO, which he did not. So these Paul brothers, that's one thing I will give them credit for, man. They're not. They seem to be advocating more for fair compensation for MMA guys than the MMA guys themselves, man. That was always kind of a thing, even with myself, coming up. Like I competed overseas in Brazil a few times, man. I'm not really entirely regretful about not fighting the UFC, although I've competed against some of those guys. Just because I'm seeing the way Dana White, man, he's not solid. At one point, our sponsors were, what I'm saying, a lot of the money came from the sponsors. The UFC would only pay you, let's say you just had your first UFC fight. You're lucky to get maybe 5 and 5, 5,000 to show up, 5,000 to win. You see what I'm saying? This was just about 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So you can see why these MMA guys want to jump over here in the sport of boxing. And because we got these pro licenses, you see, this is something else that casuals don't understand. Once you are a professional athlete, whether it's boxing, football, basketball, and then you cross over into another sport, you cannot do amateur sports. See, y'all don't know about that. So even though you ain't experienced in a sport like boxing, when you sign up to fight somebody, you're automatically a pro. See, y'all didn't know that, did y'all? You ain't even an amateur, but see, if you know about the sweet science, if you know about boxing, in the amateurs, dude, they know to have about 100 to 300 amateur fights before they even turn pro. Go back and look at some of Floyd's early fights, bro. You see what I'm saying? They were already sharp. You know what I'm saying? Fundamentals. It's all muscle memories there. It's already there. So when they turn pro, it's game time. It's on. You feel me? Bringing it back to Tyron. Tyron wrestled at the University of Missouri, man. Shout out, your boy. I was raised in KC, Kansas City, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? I know about Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? Southside for sale. You did 40th and home, 35th and Wild Bad. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Rich the Factory. You know what I'm saying? Tech 9. Y'all know what it is. But anyway, he was a wrestler, man. I be watching these Paul brothers, man, and like he said in the interview, y'all think it's we YouTubers, right? We don't have other aspects to our lives, man. It's like, don't get it twisted, man. It is, like myself. I got numerous other aspects of my life. I'm not one dimensional. I do a lot of things. Yeah, it is, you know. But I would debate with these casuals. It's hard debating with casuals too. But I get it though, because y'all are just consumers, right? Y'all watching the sport, y'all watching this entertainment for y'all, right? But as somebody who's been in the cage and who's been inside of a ring, whether it's Muay Thai, whether it's boxing, whatever, we know what's going on. Like we know what we've been in that position before. That's the angle we speaking about, right? That being said, I don't know Tyron's entire situation. It is like you would think he got some dough, you know what I'm saying? But if you got somebody over there offering you a couple of million, you know what I'm saying? Like he says he's about his family, he got wife, he got kids, he got his mom. You're gonna want to make sure they straight, man. So I mean, how important is your reputation? Would you take a dive? I mean, I look at it, I'm like, dude, you got a legacy, brother. You one of the coldest welterweights to even grace the octagon, my G. I mean, he was dominant most of the time. He took a couple L's, came back, bam, did his thing, like he said. He took it how he gave it. He right. He done knocked out a lot of people, man. That's why he sat up there in the press conference, not ashamed, one hanging his head, like, hey, I got. But as a fighter, like I'm looking at this, right? I'm checking out the footage. Now, the first rule in combat sports, right, in general, is what? Protect yourself at all times. Now, I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, but this is where I'm like, Jake's the bigger guy, got the longer reach, yeah. Stevie Wonder could see that big right hand coming. Tyron literally took his hand, right, from here, did this, and got punched, right? I can see why people are like, dude, come on now, you were 5-time, you know what I'm saying, UFC champion. So just like, I mean, a lot of times, we do come in with a wrestling background, but after your first couple of years, I mean, even within Muay Thai, you start to get pretty proficient, right? And to keep your damn hands up. Like Jake didn't really throw no super crazy feint or nothing to throw him off. Like it just looks suspect, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, come on now. The man did this, and got punched. Like, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I get why folks is like they're not going. I mean, I gotta keep it all the way 100, man. Like, this is not. It's the thing is, brother. Like, I don't know if you really understand it, but it's like, bro, you represent more than just that bag, bro. I'm gonna talk to your soul right now, Joe. I'm gonna talk to you right now. You represent more than just that bag. You feel me? You got these little young wrestlers, man. You got, little young African American, little young man checking you out, looking to get into the sport of MMA, man. They looking back at when he was dominant. It's like, what's going on, bro? You a father, ain't nothing wrong with with taking no L, but it's like how, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about how it come about, bro. I'm not, something ain't right. Something ain't right, man. I'm like, I don't know. I ain't feeling that too tough, bro. You know? You know better than that. If you done knocked out former UFC champions, bro, stop playing. You know, but I mean, hey, I guess to each his own. You know. So to all the, you know, the little couch potatoes and the casual folks out there who think y'all know what y'all talking about, like this was a money move. Okay, I mean, if you take away anything from this, it was a money move. Plain and simple. Jake ain't that cold, bro. Like I'm looking at it, he's not that cold. Tyron literally, I mean, just check it out, even as a casual, right? You know, boxing is a sport of sticking and moving, right? You didn't see none of that. You didn't see no head movement from the brothers. You didn't see no footwork. Even his stance, he literally was standing up in front of him. Like, punch me. So it really ain't no debate, bro. I mean, the man went to get his check. He got his bag, bro, and basically put his whole legacy on the line to get the bag. I mean, go on his Instagram. He paid an Instagrammer $5,000, and I'm going to post this later on too. It was creative. For the most creative meme. They have some pride, bro, some dignity about yourself. He went and put out a contest about who had the best meme of him getting knocked out. Dog, you should see the comments, man. It's nasty, man. It's nasty, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess that's what it is these days, man. You know, integrity versus money. It reminds me of the Monique versus Steve Harvey little beef when she was talking about integrity. And he was like, man, listen, we can't do this out here. We got family to feed. We got this. And she was just like, at what cost, though? So, hey, for the love of money, that mean green, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Big Miyagi Vice. I'm up out of here, man. Happy holidays to y'all, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Again, Executive Drip EP, man. Again, that's what you're hearing in the background, dog. We coming soon, man. We coming soon, dog. I'm a perfectionist. You can't rush greatness. You know what I'm saying? But stay tuned, man. But until next time, I'm out of chill. One yourself.